I've worked with Dave his entire career in parking, and I've seen him grow into an exceptional leader. He has a deep knowledge of the operational requirements related to a large-scale operation, and his industry knowledge is is just phenomenal. And his ability to analyze and his analytical expertise has just been such um, a value to us in our operation, and it really helps us make the business decisions that we need to make. I've seen him grow from a little boy to the man he is today. I'm able to say that because I have. And he's an exceptional person, individual, and he's always caring and giving of himself for others. And I think he's an excellent recipient for this award.
I think one of the things that impressed me most about Dave, well, there's two things about Dave, is that he definitely has vision for the future and is very innovative. I know we give lots of credit to all the new and up and coming leaders in our industry, but Dave has been in parking for 35 years and really has never stopped imagining what the future could look like. And so one of the projects that we worked on together when I was first hired was the prepaid parking booking system for the airport. And this is something that had been on the radar for years. And so, you know, in building all of these models and the proof of concept to show our executives what it could do and how it could really expand our business, you know, he really was, you know, a backbone for that with all of his vision and ideas, and he's actually very savvy with technology and doesn't cease to amaze us. And then the second thing that Dave really has is patience. As a leader, you definitely need patience and a kind heart and understanding for when you're working with people. And when he's faced with adversity, it's amazing that he even gets kinder toward that and works through whatever situation that is going on, and you can't help but respect him for that. So thank you.
When I first took over 7 years ago, Dave was the first one who greeted me and made sure that I knew what was going on. This is airport business was new to me. And whenever I asked questions or needed something, he would work if he had to stay overtime to get it. Very, very helpful, knowledgeable, as everyone says. But the thing that gets me is I've been on the board of directors at IPMI for 18 years. And whenever I would go at IPI at that time, "Oh, you work for Dave Wilson, don't you?" I said, "Yeah." That's how well known he was in the industry, or is in the industry. Well known. So this would definitely get knowledge recognized by the people in IPMI because they all know him. So I agree with you, Jeanette, and I think this is a fantastic choice.
Dave Wilson is my manager for industry outreach and also courtesy parking program. And one of the things that we have all benefited from Dave being our manager is the fact that he is like the wealth of information, dictionary, encyclopedia, any kind of book that you would want to, he's our reference manual. He not only does he go back a few years, you know, with experience, but he also knows a lot of people and always seems to find a way to get that information that we may be needing for current, you know, research or projects that we're working on. And that for me, I think has been one of the greatest things that he has contributed for me and really for our whole team. is that wealth of information and the contacts that he has and the network that he has, and knows who's who and who to go ask who for what information.
Gloria, he is a wealth of information. I've known Dave over 36 years. Really great. And also, one thing I have to say to Dave, I've always said this to him many years that I've worked with. He is the one, first my husband, then him, is the most hardest working man I have ever met. He's a hard worker, and I totally support and back him up on this nomination.
So Dave Wilson is one of those people that when you want to know any history, anything that happened in the past in parking operations at DFW, you go ask. He has books, he has timelines of when we started this equipment for parking, when the next time we got a new parking system. So he knows the history of everything that's happened in parking at DFW Airport. I have had the privilege 3 separate times during my career of 37 years working with Dave for him to be my supervisor manager. I started out with parking in 1983, and he was my, as we called him, plaza foreman then. Then I went to the guest services, and I worked for him. And now I've had the privilege again of being the courtesy liaison, working under Gloria and then under Dave. And he's always been an encouragement. He always encourages his employees to stretch themselves, be forward with what they do, and he always shows respect and encouragement to his employees. And I've always appreciated that he's a very hardworking man, and he does give outside of the airport. We know that he does the bell ringers every year for Christmas for the Salvation Army, and so I just appreciate him for all the things that he's taught me and the encouragement he's given me over the years.
Okay. I would just have to say that I have been here at the airport for a short 10 years compared to Dave's 30 plus. But from the day I started until current, I don't care what question it is you have about parking, Dave is the man to go to. He has such corporate knowledge, and even today, if I were to ask him something about parking guest relations, he'll pull it out. I don't care how old it is. He's got it. He can tell you what happened 30 years ago. And all I'm asking for is 10 years ago. He has such a positive attitude. He bends over backwards for anybody and everybody that needs help. And Dave, I can't appreciate Dave more than anybody else here at DFW Airport.
Dave has so much wisdom, and he is always sharing that wisdom with other people. Whenever Dave teaches me something, he always thanks me. When I thank him for teaching me, he thanks me for wanting to learn. And he's just such a kind and generous leader. And I'm very grateful to have worked with Dave and learned from him.
Yeah, it was around this time back in 1986, and I can't believe it, 34 years back, when Dave actually did the interview and hired me. At the time, he was a shift supervisor. I worked for him for many years. What is unique about Dave is he never gets angry. He is always calm, collected, reassuring. He is really thoughtful and very analytical. He's the number guy. I understand him being, I think his discipline is in accounting that made Dave who he is. Great guy, and I vote for him, definitely.
With being on his team for almost 7 years now, he's probably one of the most kind person that I have ever worked with. And not only that too, he's fair. As a leader, I think that's really important, to be kind and fair and engaging. I feel like he is engaging with his team and with the organization but also externally as well. I don't think there's a single person in the parking industry that doesn't know who Dave Wilson is.
So I am probably the newest on the team for DFW, for Dave's team. And starting in January, right before COVID hit, it was definitely a lot of transition, and Dave definitely took extra time to call me and see how I was doing, working from home away from the team, making sure that transition went well and making sure I had everything I needed. And I can't say enough how much that adjusting to what seems to be the new normal. So thank you, Dave.
I've worked with Dave